All right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Hold on. Ready for three, two, one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Welcome aboard. This is your captain speaking. We're getting ready for takeoff. Today, we'll be flying into the territory of making love in different locations. That's our destination today, mainly sex. So, on Spotify, I'm recording both the audio and video versions at the same time. So, if there are children, you might want to ask them to leave their room. So there's going to be some adult content. We're not going to do any juicy details, anything like that. But it is adult themed. We're talking about making love in different locations. And nobody on the YouTube platform has ever talked about this subject. So buckle up. Let's get ready for takeoff because that is what we are going to be talking about today. It's a fun topic. Take my sunglasses off. I just used that for the intro. Once I'm done, that's it. Part of the intro, part of the brand, part of the look. It's a fun topic. And nobody on YouTube platform, and possibly the podcast platform, has ever talked about this. I will have a monopoly on this topic. I will be a first. I'll tell you what got me inspired to talk about this. So, I'm watching the audio, so if it cuts out on me, because it did twice before, no biggie. I've got the video version. It doesn't require internet. I will learn how to record audio on this without internet. So, in the future, I'm going to solve that problem, create an audio file without internet. So, because it's a bad connection here. So, anyway, back on the topic. Making love in different locations. This is why you clicked on the video. So, what inspired me to talk about this? What got me on this topic exactly? It's a sitcom. I kid you not. I was watching an old rerun of Mama's Family. I have the whole series on DVD. And there was an episode where this one character, I can't remember her name now. I'm getting older. So, the one that, she's always wearing yellow. And she decides she wants to have a baby. And her husband want to make love in different locations. She got this book and she says, I need to get pregnant, and there's different ways, more than one way to make love. And Mama's going, huh? There's more than one way to make love? And she's going, yeah. And so that's what got me to thinking. Because then her and her husband decided to make love in Bubba's bedroom, different locations throughout the house. I've heard of people doing this. By the way, this is not a new concept. I can't believe nobody on YouTube has talked about this. Nobody. I mean, I've heard of people, making love in the backseat of a Cadillac. There's a song by that, by the way. In the backseat of your Cadillac. There's another song called Love in the Elevator by Aerosmith. Yeah, this is not a new thing. My mom, she was a nurse at Cox for like 30 plus years, right? Now, hospitals, you wouldn't think of it, are great places for people to hook up, make love, in the broom closet, and various rooms. Hospitals are great places to do it. You may not think that, but it's like, let's say Mercy's got like thousands of employees, right? And some of the co-workers may want to hook up, right? Well, the hospitals provide perfect places to do it. Whether it's an empty hospital room, an operating room, this room, that room. Oh my God, take your pick. I know because my mom walked in on somebody. Yeah, yeah. She told me the one time she walked in on somebody while at work doing the deed. At work, she walked in on them, and I can understand. I guess after 30 years and working there, that she's seen all kinds of things. After 30 years, you would, and I wouldn't think that. But you know what? Hospitals are great places in a way because there's so many opportunities there. There really is. You may not think that, but it's true. So, what's your story? What's the most exotic place, the most interesting place you and your significant other have ever made love? Was it a movie theater? A jet plane? I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to kick you off the plane? We're not talking about you go to the bathroom and she follows you. No, you're right there in the seats. You're going to make love right there. Who cares that there might be other people around? That's part of the exhilaration. That's the adrenaline rush. You're already in midair. You're going to your destination anyway. Well, what are they going to do to you? They can't kick you off the plane because they're already in the air. What are they going to do? Talk to you and say, well, we recommend that you don't do this again. I mean, think about it. What are they going to do to you? Probably nothing. Even if they wanted to, it's almost a laugh. It's like, and then they report you to the authorities. They were making love on the airplane. Charge you with indecent exposure, slap you with a fine. I mean, what are they possibly going to do? So, yeah, there's people. I mean, what's your story? What has been the most interesting place you have ever made love with your significant other? I'm going to be talking to both men and women here, gay and lesbian. So, what is the most unique place? I've heard of people doing it in department stores, especially in the dressing rooms. But what if you're going to make love to somebody in the middle of a Walmart aisle? And if you're there, I forgot to remind, I'll put in the description. This has got adult content, sexually explicit. I'll make sure. So, what's your story? What is the most interesting place you've ever done it? I've heard of people christening every room in their house. I have heard of people doing that. They'll christen their bedrooms, or how about this? The washing machine in spin cycle. You're going to make love to your woman on the top of a washing machine while it's in spin cycle. Yeah, I mean, people do this. I kid you not. This is not a new thing. I got to bring this other microphone a little bit closer. I don't want them interfering with each other, though. But this happens. I don't know. I just want you to think about this. It's like, comment below. What is the most unique place you've ever done it? I don't need the juicy details, but what was most memorable? The location? Another reason when I watched this sitcom, and it reminded me of a girl I once dated years ago. It seemed like eons ago. I'm now 57, so it seems like eons ago. And she was into that. And so what she liked to do is, we were on a date, and we weren't really on a date. We were just hanging together, and we were at the laundromat, and she decided she wanted to make love right there. Yep. We were in the front seat of a car in the parking lot of a laundromat. Old Dutch Laundry on South National. I was living in Springfield at the time, and Right next door is a Glow Cleaner, and there's a Brown Derby liquor store. There's a Burger King across the street. But here we are. It's her car, and she's in the driver's seat, and she decides she wants to make love right then and there. And this is my first time making love in a public place, because I always like behind closed doors in the bedroom, right? I've never done anything like that before. But my first time with that kind of experience, let me tell you something. It was, how can I put it? Exhilarating. I got an adrenaline rush from it. The thrill, the thought that I might get caught or get busted. Somebody might see us. It's, the women love it because there's an element of danger to it. No danger in losing your life, but the danger of getting caught, getting busted for it. The thrill you might get caught and get fired. The thrill of it. The adrenaline rush. And the sex is so much better. I'm not kidding. The sex is 1,000 times better. Because you're feeling that rush. What if somebody sees us? And then the second time her and I did it was at Jenny Lincoln Park, because she lived in this apartment complex, and there's this park where she lived, or across the street, and so there, I think it was Jenny Lincoln. It's right there on South Street, and so we did it again in the park. And that was even more dangerous, because we were outside. Before then, we were in the car. Unless they were walking by and looked in the window, they wouldn't know. This time, we're in a public park. That's the way she was. And guys, women are into this. Not every woman, but a great number of them, yes. They like men who are spontaneous, sexy, men who can take chances and take risk. That's why they date bad boys. They don't like if you're too much Clark. Even Clark Kent knew to be Superman when it was time to do it. Okay, but there are so many beta simps, and they're pathetic and they're boring, and they wonder why they have dead bedrooms, and they wonder why their women cheat on them. They wonder why girls won't even date them. Women know. They just know. And so, guys, you're going to have to be interesting. I'll tell you what, we made love in the park. And I admit, the reason, because I've done it. So, I guess I'm confessing one of my sins. Is that, yeah, I have done this. And I don't know if I can describe the exhilaration, how thrilling it is. Until you've lived, until you've done it, you don't know. There are people who make love in movie theaters. Not in the bathroom in the movie theater, in the movie theater. Now, I heard of them making love at the drive-ins. We're talking the theater, the walk-in theaters. There's 100 people around you, and you want to make love right then and there. That's part of the thrill. Gets the adrenaline going, the excitement. And the sex is far superior. I can't describe it. I don't know how to describe it. It just is. Okay, so again, sex in different locations. Another thing that couples do, this is not the topic of the video, but it's similar. Another thing you can do to spice up your marriage, your relationship, is cosplay, role-playing, dress up in costumes. You pretend to be the cop, she pretends to be the hooker, or vice versa. Whatever role you decide to play. Or she's the nurse, you're the patient. Want to play doctor? Want to play nurse? Want to play house? Play pretend? People do that. That's called role playing. Now they call it cosplaying. So That's another thing you can do. Now, that's something I haven't done yet. But I have done the I've done the dressing room. Because I was married, so my wife and I did it in a dressing room twice. But it was a dressing room. I mean, like, we're going to get caught. I mean, it's more of a danger if you're doing it in the middle of a Walmart aisle. Even if you pick an obscure aisle like the vacuum cleaner aisle, the one that nobody goes through, right? It's some obscure, hardly anybody goes down that aisle. Clothes hangers, vacuum cleaners, that kind of stuff. Nobody goes there. At least it's rare. So you decide to make love in the middle of the aisle at Walmart. Or at some store. It doesn't have to be Walmart. It could be Target, Kmart, whatever. JCPenney, just pick a store. You're picking up an obscure location. You wouldn't think that anybody would just walk, but that's the thought. The exhilaration you get. So now we're going to tell the story of Mark and Lisa. I'm making this story up. It may be loosely based on stories that I've heard, stories that people have told me. So we got these characters. One is Mark, the other is Lisa. Okay. Mark and Lisa work at McDonald's. So we're going to tell this story, and you gentlemen need to listen to this because the relationship advice I'm going to give you is golden here. I kid you not, it's golden. So here they are, they're working at McDonald's. This has everything to do with the topic we're talking about. There's more to it. So Lisa comes up to Mark, and she says to Mark, how can I put it? She says, Mark, what do you like to do on the weekends? What do you like to do for fun? Where do you like to go for fun? So Lisa's asking Mark, where do you like to go for fun on the weekends? Where do you like to go? What do you like to do? Lisa's asking Mark this question. Now, at first, Mark doesn't think anything of it. He's going, oh, I don't know. That's the answer you're going to give? I don't know. So before Mark should answer the question, and later, I mean, if I was Mark, so let's pretend I'm Mark for a second. I'm going to put myself in his shoes. So Lisa's coming up to me, and I'm Mark, and she's saying, Mark, what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do on the weekends? So my proper answer would be, and give an honest answer. Don't say, I don't know. I don't do much of anything. Guarantee you'll never get a date with that chick. Don't ever give an answer like that. I wouldn't. If I did, then I must have been stupid. Because once you think it through and go, I need to answer this. She's asking a very specific question. Now, in my mind, I may not be going, I think this girl's into me. She's really interested in me, but at least answer the question. So what do I do for fun? This guy right here, the man in the mirror. Right? So I'm going to be Mark. Lisa's asking me a question. What do I like to do for fun? What do you like to do on the weekends? Where do you like to go? Where would I like to go? Beyond what do I do currently? Where would I like to go? Where would I go? Would be the question. And I do have the means to do it. Just no one to do it with and share it with. But I have the means. So, in my past life, up to the time I moved here, but when I lived in Springfield, what did I do? I was very active. I would do fundraisers. I would go to charity functions. What do I like to do for fun? Well, number one, the most obvious, I like to make YouTube videos. I like to record podcasts. Right now, I'm trying to record a podcast at the same time I'm making this video. Trying to kill two birds with one stone. So, Oh, there it goes. So, because the podcast version failed twice on me today. So even if it fails, I've got this, which means this is probably not going to fail. I bet it doesn't. But back to the story of Mark and Lisa. So I'm Mark, and Lisa's asking me, Jeremiah, what do you like to do for fun? Okay, so I lived in Springfield. I once a week I went to networking events. I love going to networking events. Charity functions, whether it's muscular dystrophy, St. Jude's, Toys for Tots, raising money for charities, making sure kids have presents under their trees. No, I really did this. My late wife and I did this before she died, and I was doing this after she passed, up until the time I moved here. I do go. I do attend parties every once in a while. Absolutely, I do. I love making YouTube videos. What do I like to do for fun? Well, this is one of them. You're looking at it. I'm recording a podcast for Spotify at the same time I'm trying to do this. Creating content. That's one of the things I do. Raising money for charity is another way of giving back to the community. Those are fun things to do. I've attended film festivals like Sato 48 at the Galois. That's fun. You get one night to walk the red carpet and wear a nice outfit. Oh yeah, I enjoy doing those things. So if I were taking a girl on a date, if I was to go on a date with somebody, where would I take her? What do I like to do for? There's places I would love to go. There's a place called a Uranus Fudge Factory up here in Missouri. I haven't been there yet, but I want to go there. It's very photogenic, and it's a great place to make a YouTube video if I wanted to. Absolutely it is. So guys, I'm trying to give you hints. I live here in the Ozarks. So what do I like to do for fun? I'm giving you guys ideas. In all my years, all the women I've dated, even the woman I was married to before she passed, one of the common denominators that all the women I've known have all had in common was they love antique stores. They love flea markets. So taking her on a date, even if it's a first date, take her to the flea market. Hey guys, that don't cost you anything. That's free. And it's a great way to start a conversation with a girl and get to know her a little bit better. Let me explain why that is. Women love it. I can't explain why they love flea markets, antique stores. They just do. So you're walking, say we got one in Marshfield here. It's two stories. So we're walking through, checking out the various booths here at the flea market, and she may see some antique dishes, and she'll say, my grandmother had an antique dish set like that, had china like that. She's talking about her grandmother. My mom had a dollhouse like that. She's talking about her mom. She's sharing her life with you. She's opening up to you. She's trying to talk to you. She's trying to have a conversation with you. A flea market is a great place to start a conversation. You see all kinds of little trinkets, conversation starters, things to talk about, share things in common with. You don't realize how valuable that is. Now, where else would you go? If I was in Springfield, there's no place in Marshfield to take her out to eat. Obviously, you got to go to Springfield or Ozark. In this town, there's no place. I mean, we have grills, but, that's okay. I work there, but you want to go someplace that you don't work. You're not on the clock. You're not working, so you don't want to take her to where you work. Obviously. So a great first date, where would you take her? Where would you go? There's a place called the Ozark Mills here in the Ozarks. Now, wherever you're living, there's someplace like it. There's somewhere in your city, there's someplace that's unique. A unique tea house or restaurant. You can take her someplace unique. Very photogenic. Branson's right down the road, too. But even in Springfield, Ozark, Nixa, there's a place. It's like the Ozark Mills. I looked it up. It's on 417 magazine. I opened up the magazine. Oh, my God. Great place, very photogenic. Great place to make a memory. Take pictures, take videos, upload it to whatever platform you're using. Guys, you can't fail. One of the things you don't want to do on your first date is the drive-thru at McDonald's. You will not date her again. Guys, whatever you do, don't do that. What is she worth to you? Well, you got to be rich to afford the Ozark meals. Okay, so what? You're talking $60, $70. It's a big deal. You're going to spend that much vaping. You're going to spend that much on lottery tickets or alcohol or whatever you do. Energy drinks, you name it. There's $70 you can afford to spend. What is that woman worth to you? A long-term relationship, what's it worth to you? You got to think. Think, guys. If you're so pathetic, you just want to take her to your mommy's basement and play Fortnite, screw you. Screw you, really. I'm not kidding. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't want to hear your sob story. Because you're a fucking incel, and that's all you want to do is play video games. Do something unique. I don't want to hear this, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. Everybody has money for the things they want. So how much do you want that girl? What is she worth to you? So Ozark Mills, here in the Ozarks, is a great place for a first date. Great place to build memories after you've taken her through the flea market. It's awesome. You cannot go wrong with that. Now that we've established where to take her, now you're taking her home. There's another thing you don't want to do on your first date. And you don't want to do this. Can I kiss you goodnight? Can I kiss you goodnight? No, you don't do that. You take the kiss. You kiss her. That's it. You don't ask. You do. If you ask, you're done. You effed up. You know you effed up. If you do try to kiss her and she pushes you away, you've already effed up. You did something that night, you effed up big time. I don't know what it is you said or did. But somehow you effed. I don't know. Now back to Mark and Lisa. So here as I'm Mark. I'm just describing me for, what would I do? Where would I take her? Remember, she's entering my world. I'm not entering hers. Guys, there's another dating advice. You want her to enter your world, to come into your world. Invite her into your world. But don't go into her world. A woman needs her space. That's the only explanation I can give you. All the women I've ever dated, I've ever known. One of the things I've figured out, because I made this mistake with one chick. And she said I smothered her. Yeah, made a big mistake. And I learned my lesson the hard way. Guys, you do not enter her world. She enters yours. She wants to be a part of your life. She wants to brag about her man. My man is a famous YouTuber. My man, he took me to the Ozark Mills. Man, we had a great time. Yeah, she wants to brag about you. Give her something to brag about. Why do some of these young chicks date older guys like me? Because we know what the F we're doing. We've been around the block. You young guys, all you want to do is play video games. I don't feel sorry for you. I just don't. I'm done with you. I'm trying to give you the best advice I can. So we need to go back to the story of Mark and Lisa. Okay? Let's go back to Mark and Lisa. I am Mark. So I was doing my best to describe Mark here, what I would do if I were Mark, and Lisa comes and says, Mark, what do you like to do for fun? These are things that I do, that I did, been there, done that, places I'd like to go, things that I have done. Now, later on in the day, Now that Mark is aware that Lisa is into him. Because a coworker said, "Hey, Mark, that girl's really into you." So how do you, because she asked you that exact question. She's like, without asking you on a date, she's letting you know that she's into you. Now, in a way, women have to do that today. They're gonna have to, in a way, let a guy know that she's into him. The only way that she can do that is to ask a question like, "What do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do on the weekends? What do you do with your spare time?" She's trying to get you to share your life with her. She's saying she's into you. That's a very subtle way for her to do it. Matter of fact, in a way, she is making the first move because she has to make the first move. We are living in this Me Too environment, this gynocentric, boss babe, men are trash, and sexual harassment. So women have to make the first move. Us guys are never going to do that. What? Get arrested, be called a creep, lose our jobs? No, we're not going to. So they have to make it clear they're into you. They have to make the first move. This is the world we're now living in. It could be like on Back to the Future. Lorraine let Calvin Klein know she was into him. She followed him home. Lorraine wanted to know. Not knowing Calvin Klein was her son. This is a movie. I know it's Back to the Future. I'm using that as a reference. But think about it. It's true. So, but this is the world we live in. So now Mark and Lisa are at work. We've established that Lisa is now into Mark. Mark now realizes Lisa is into him. Now that he's aware of it, his radar is now on. And later on in the day, Lisa comes to Mark. She says, "Mark, can you help me with something in the walk-in? Something on the top shelf. I need you to reach it for me." She wants to get alone with you in the walk-in cooler. Now, they work at McDonald's, so I'm using this as a backdrop. So, this is another invitation. She's now shit-testing him. So, Mark decides to follow Lisa into the walk-in cooler. Now, this is a story. Now, there's a shit test getting ready to happen here. So, she says, "Can you reach up on the top shelf and get the butter down for me?" I'm just making this up as I go. I don't know what's butter, margarine, buttermilk. It's a restaurant. It's McDonald's. Biscuits. Who knows what she needs. I'm just making this up as I go. So, maybe they're ketchup packets. I don't know. It's McDonald's. So, you reach up on the top shelf and you pull down the butter. Or whatever it is, the product is. So, at that time, Lisa is looking at Mark. Kind of like Lorraine was checking out Calvin Klein. That look that Lorraine gave, that's the best way to describe it. When Michael, the character's name is Calvin Klein, Michael J. Fox, and he's doing a skateboarding thing, and Biff got a ton of manure dropped on him, and that look that Lorraine had when she looked at him doing his skateboarding thing against Biff, that look that Lorraine had. So Lisa gives Mark that look, that she's in heat. She's into him big time. That's the look. You cannot make this up. There's no way. This is what Lorraine did to Calvin Klein. She gave him that look. She looked at him through that window, and so when Lisa and Mark are in the walking, Mark's pulling down whatever, and Lisa's given that look to him. And she just looks at him, he looks at her, and you can see the sexual tension. So Mark decides, he knows she's into him. And the way she's looking at him, he's looking at her now. Now their eyes are deadlocked. And this moment, Mark has to make a big decision. What to do next. She's expecting him to make his move. They're alone in the walk-in cooler. So There's something she expects him to do. So Mark decides to risk it all. Since he's aware that she's already into him, he figures, well, she's already interested in me, then she won't mind if I reached out and kissed her. That's what he did. He took the kiss. He decides she wants me to kiss her. She wants me to try to make out with her in the walk-in cooler. And he was right, because she shit-tested him. She needed to know that he was willing to take a chance, to take a leap of faith. She was already into him, so she wasn't going to push him away. Now, guys, I don't recommend you do this unless you know for sure she's into you. Women will let you know where the boundaries are. So, Mark already knew she liked him. She was into him. He already knew this. So he reached out and he kissed her right then and there. And he was able to get a date with her because of that. He passed a very important shit test. He reached out, he kissed her, she kissed him back, and all I can say was, well, he put his hand somewhere on her behind. He took another chance. Again, women like that sort of thing. They'll let you know where the boundaries are. So if you got a little handsy and it's not she's pushing you away, she says, not yet. No means no, guys. You're going to have to respect their space. But let's just say for the moment that Lisa allowed it. She's into him big time, and he's being a little frisky. They like the bad boy. He's willing to take a chance. He took a leap of faith, and she's going, this guy is alpha. This guy is not a beta simp. So he got that date with Lisa. So Mark and Lisa go out, and like I said, let's say I'm Mark, and I take her to the flea market. She has a great time. We get to know each other really good. We go to Ozark Mills. We get to know each other really good. Take some photos. Let's pretend I'm Mark for a second. So here I am doing this. Now, making love in different places. Like I said, we just made out in the walk-in cooler. This happens more often than you think. My mom worked in a hospital. It's like, if you know someone that works in a department store where sell mattresses and beds, why don't you ask one of the employees how often they've caught people making out or making love, doing the deed right there in the department store. How often that's happened? I guarantee it that's happened. I guarantee it somebody's got a story of somebody who did that. Especially at places that sell mattresses, places that sell, they have full-size beds made. You see the second floor of JCPenney or Macy's. You see it, right? Obscure location, but somebody's done it. You walk in and two employees are making out right then and there. And the storage room, walk-in cooler, hospitals provide hundreds of places. I kid you not. So workplace stuff like that happens more often than you think. It could spice up your relationship. So Mark and Lisa go out, they have a good time. He walks to the front door, he lays a good one on her. They make out right there on the front porch. I guess her dad got the grand finale he was looking for, so he's satisfied because he waited up all night for this. The guy came and he delivered. But one thing you don't do, can I kiss you good night? I mean, come on, guys. Are you that stupid? Take the chance. You got one life to live, so live it. Live like a king, die like a man. I can tell you of a famous YouTuber that did exactly that, Kevin Samuels. Look him up. He was a famous YouTuber. He was in the manosphere, And he died with a woman on top of him. He died the way all men dream of dying, making love to a woman. Where was the most exotic place you've ever made love to your partner? Have you been on a jet plane? You've heard of the Mile High Club, right? You're doing it right there on your seats. On a jet plane. In the air. Why not? What are they going to do to you? In the movie theater. That's common. A park. A museum. Any place. What unique place have you done it? Now, like I said, I've heard of people that christen every room in their house. They call it christening. You know, like I said, on the top of a washing machine and spin cycle. Yeah. I can't believe no one's made a video about this topic. Making love in different places, having sex in exotic locations. At least I call them exotic. They're different. Anything that's not your bedroom is what I'm talking about. You're having sex, making love in places that are not your bedroom. Even places that are risque. In the middle of a Walmart aisle. You can't get any more risque than that. It doesn't have to be Walmart. It can be any department store. Any store at all. Yeah. Could be anywhere. Making love at the swimming pool, in the water, under a waterfall. There are plenty of places. You're on horseback, or you're on a hike in the woods. So you decide to stop, make love, and make out right then and there. Just make sure there's no poison ivy, poison oak. But especially if there's a running creek, that's even better. If there's a running creek nearby, oh yeah, perfect place to do it. I'm just saying. So this contains adult content. I just wanted to get this out there. And believe it or not, we're still recording. I got both the Spotify version, which is the audio version of this. I knew it wouldn't fail because each system backs each other up. So yeah, I'm glad you got to listen to this today. This is different. Nobody on YouTube or Spotify or any platform, no one's ever covered this topic except me. I'm the first. I'm glad I got to be the first to talk about this topic without being too explicit or X-rated. So, again, I want to thank everybody for watching and comment below. I want to hear your story. I really do. This is one video you must engage in to tell your story of the most exotic location, most memorable experience you ever had making love to your partner, significant other, in a public place. Where did you do it? What's the story behind it? Did you get caught? Did you get busted? Did you have to pay a fine? Did you get fired? What happened? What's the story? Did you have a happy ending? Did you get married and have kids later on? Live happily ever after, so they say. Well, what's your story? I mean, what's the most interesting? And this is adult themed, so I'm going to have to put sexually explicit on this, even though I really didn't go into gory details, because this is the YouTube platform as well as Spotify. So again, what is the most interesting place you've ever done it? I've told you mine. I spilled the beans. And what got me was Mama's family. It got me to thinking about the girl I once dated who was into that. She, like I said, we did it in the front seat of her car. Then in the park. I can remember the exact locations we did it. I mean, it's been a few decades, but yeah, it's like it's unforgettable. Whether it's the dressing room of a department store, everybody's done the dressing room thing. What's different? What's unique about you? What's your story? So, yeah, And I hope I gave you some good relationship dating advice. Another thing you want to do to spice up your marriage, your relationship, is role playing, or they call it cosplaying today. It's not a bad idea. Dressing up in costumes. You're the patient, she's the nurse. You're the teacher, she's the student. However you want to do it. You want to role play. Role playing is great. I've never done that part yet. But, yeah. The different locations thing, that I've done. I'm telling you something. There's something exhilarating about it. The adrenaline rush. You might get caught. You might get fired. Although where I work, it's probably not likely unless you're both naked in the walk. I mean, you both have to like be in your birthday suits or something like that. Just making out, no, they're not going to say anything. But you'll be the talk. Everybody at work's going to be talking about you. So Mark was making out with Lisa, and all the guys at McDonald's were bowing down to him. All his male co-workers. Oh, man, you're king. Dude, can't believe you. Because I guess they got caught. Somebody walked in on him. And everybody talked. You know how gossip spreads. And then Mark became, oh, Mark. Oh, Mark. So I'm just saying, there's got to be a little bit of risk involved. And women do kind of like that sort of thing. They like a man who's willing to take a leap of faith. They like a man who takes risk. There's a reason they like the bad boys. There's a reason that 50 Shades of Grey got so popular. I don't care what the women say. There's a reason they sold millions and millions and millions and millions of those books. You can look it up how many, I think it's 100 million. They sold 100 million copies of that book. The 3 films made over $1 billion at the box office. Yeah, billion with a B. These aren't $40 million films. These are probably $20 million films. Because they didn't use a lot of special effects. It's mostly on location. Him and her. It's different, to say the least. I had to check it out because it's all anybody talked about. I'm going, why is it so popular? And I found out why. And so there's a reason for that. And women love a man who takes chances. So when Mark took the chance in the walk-in cooler with Lisa, he had won her over 100%. That was it. It was a done deal. She shit tested him. He passed that shit test with flying colors. She gave him that look. The only way I can best describe that look is Lorraine on Back to the Future. The look she gave Calvin Klein. Michael J. Fox. Calvin Klein's the character, but yeah. She looked out that window and she's, I gotta get to know. She gave him that look. Unmistakable look. That was it. I want to thank everybody for watching. It's time to end this video. We're almost up to 50 minutes already. I think I said everything I wanted to say because I had to tell the story of Mark and Lisa. I made that story up because I tried to tell a story that everybody can relate to. Got to keep it simple, keep it relatable, because a lot of people work in retail say, hey, I know I work in a hotel, I work in a restaurant, or, you know, like I said, my mom worked in a hospital. Co-workers hook up all the time. Work relationships happen way more than you think. Yeah, you're at work, you go in the storage room to get something, and you got these 2 people making out. Yeah, caught them in the act. That happens way more than you believe. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, share. You know the routine. And to the incels who can't get out of your mommy's basement, eat a bowl of fuck. You can't get laid, that's your fault. I'm trying my best to give you the best advice I can. I had to do this video, so I have to include the bowl of fuck. If you're an incel, have a bowl of fuck. Because if all you can think of is taking the girl to your mommy's basement playing video games because you think, well, I'm broke, I can't afford it. Flea markets don't cost anything, guys. Even if you took her to a decent restaurant, you're out, what, $70 for the night? You tell me you don't have $70. You're pathetic. Because you always have the money for the things you want. Always. $70, but you have money for the new t-shirts, posters, vape, whatever you spend money on, all that junk. You got money for junk food, but you don't have money for her. What is she worth to you? So fuck you. If that's you, I also got this guy. You can't treat a girl like a princess. Give her what she wants. That's what I say to you. Too bad. I don't feel sorry for you. I'm going to give you the best advice I can. So, I don't want to hear your excuses, guys. I don't want to hear it. How will you know a girl's interested when she asks you a very direct question? What do you like to do for fun? That is the signal you're looking for. Like I said, we live in the gynocentric world. And I know I said this earlier in the video. I want to caution guys, be careful. Just because a girl looks at you doesn't mean she likes you. She looked at me. Well, that don't mean shit. She talked to me. That don't mean shit. She talks to all her co-workers. She talks to all her classmates. But unless she comes to you specifically and asks the question, what do you like to do for fun? That is asking you on a date. That's more direct without being direct. I said my piece. I really got to go. It's been 51 minutes. Thank you. And this is the first time I've actually recorded a podcast and a video at the same time. 2 birds with 1 stone. How do you like that? Get ready to make another video after this about the economy. So, bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Comment below.